My name is Chen. I am 17 years old since I grew up with my grandfather in a remote village. My life is the same as the boy in general, but my life suddenly changed after leaving my grandfather, because no one wants to take care of me. I started to live independently. I started working part-time in order to continue to live. Because of my good grades, I decided to go to school in the city to get a proper education. I studied at Hexing School. After 3 months, I have a boyfriend. My girlfriend's name is Yuting. She has shoulder-length hair, has a height of 155 centimeters, and has a slim body, even though she is not a school flower, but to me she is a beautiful girl. We have been dating for about 9 months, but after we entered the second year and we were placed in a different class, Yuting's attitude began to change. This is my story. Today is Sunday school and her workplace is on vacation. Yesterday was Chen's payday, and today she intends to invite Yuting to go to Starbucks to eat. Although Chen's part-time salary was not very high, Chen had to eat regular meals every month and sometimes eat leftovers at the place where he worked so he could take Yuting to go to Starbucks. But today, the call and message he sent was ignored by Yuting, who made him very angry. Where did Ting go? Why didn't he answer his calls? Indeed, in recent days, he was often ignored, which made Chen annoyed. Chen looked at the clock on his cell phone and showed it at 12 noon, so he decided to go to look for drinks and food. After leaving behind his boarding house, Chen arrived at a shopping center. Chen immediately went to a food stall and wanted to order food and drinks. Uncle, please 1 goreng noodle and 1 soda drink. Chen saw the view on the streets. Rom! A loud voice was heard and a BDUM sport with the price of hundreds of thousands of dollars through the view of Chen, and the few people who ate also noticed. The BMW pulled aside on the side of the road, and when the door opened, the figure Chen knew got out of the BMW sport car. It was Yuting. And a man also came out of the driver's door, a handsome man with fashionable clothes and a cool hairstyle. Yuting put his arm around the man's arm and acted intimate. Even the fools know what relationship they have. The fire in Chen's heart appeared. He rose from his seat and approached Yuting and the man. Ting. When someone shouted his name, Yuting turned around and saw that it was Chen. He immediately let go of the man's arm. Chen, how can you be here? Yuting spoke nervously. Shouldn't I ask like that? Who is he and why are you with him? Me. Yuting looked nervous when he wanted to answer Chen's question and didn't know what to answer. Who is Ting? Asked the man next to Yuting. He, Yuting Ragu replied. He is his ex-girlfriend. When Yuting's words came out, the fire in Chen's heart really exploded. He was very angry at the words of Yuting. Oh, so this is the poor man you often tell me about? The man looked at Chen with an insulting look. Chen raised his hand and wanted to hit Yuting, seeing what Yuting would do to be afraid and close his eyes. Chen really wanted to hit Yuting, but somehow he didn't have the heart. Yuting, why are you doing this to me? Tell me why you prefer him over me? Asked Chen. You really want to know? I'll say I'm tired of living poorly with you. You can't buy me expensive clothes, jewelry, and even expensive cell phones. But he, while pointing at the man next to him, he can buy me what is not you can give me. But I have love for you, Chen said. What nonsense can love be eaten? Can love make buying expensive things? All of Yuting's words pierced his deep Pali heart. He was indeed poor, but Chen always worked hard so that his life could be better. Good. I'm Chen, may be blind for loving a girl like you starting today. Our relationship broke up. And don't ever look for me again. Without waiting for Yuting's answer, Chen immediately left Yuting and the man. Fortunately, the distance is not too far. About 5 minutes later, Chen made it. Krook! Chen's bowels rumbled. I forgot I had not eaten from this morning, while rubbing his small stomach. Saw the time leaving for the bus is still 10 minutes away. Chen went to buy some steamed buns and mineral water for his trip. Chen did not forget. sending a message to the homeroom teacher to ask for school leave for the next few days. After 1 hour, the heiresses bus leaves the city. The journey from the city to the village takes around 6 to 7 hours. Of course, there are many people on the bus, because the bus will also pass through several other villages. Because the trip was a bit boring, Chen played mobile, not felt. The journey is almost to the final destination, that is Chen village. At the moment, the only remaining passenger is only Chen. In a few kilometers, the bus will arrive. The bus suddenly loses control, and the bus driver is forced to pull off his vehicle. "What's wrong, uncle?" "I do not know, let me check first." Immediately the driver went down and checked, the driver who saw that the tire flat. "How is it?" Chen asked. "Sorry, young tire and I cannot continue the journey, can only wait tomorrow morning." "You can sleep on the bus tonight if you want." "It's okay. My uncle can walk a few more kilometers up." Chen paid his money and went down. The road conditions were quite dark considering it was midnight. Especially the lighting was very minimal. Luckily, Chen didn't carry a bag so he could run without fear. When he walked for a few minutes, he arrived in the sky. The figure of the old man flew. He wore white clothes and white hair. Chen was a modern person. How could he possibly believe that ghosts existed in this world? But seeing people floating above the sky naturally scared Chen. The figure in the sky of silence suddenly approached towards Chen. Chen, who saw this, was very scared. Chen tried to brace himself but saw the figure of the old man getting closer and closer. Chen was finally scared and shouted, "Ghost!" Chen ran with all his strength. Chen continued to run down the grass. "Motherfucker, why today is so unlucky. First I broke up, now chased a ghost." Chen continued to curse in his heart. After running hundreds of meters, Chen's running speed decreased. He then looked back knowing that the ghost disappeared from his view. Finally, Chen's heart relaxed, and he rested near the tree with his breath rising and falling. "Hey kid, why are you running?" Heard a voice beside her. All the fur on Chen's body stood up. Chen turned his head to the side and saw the old man's ghost flying in the sky. "Ghost grandfather, ghost ancestor, please don't eat me. My flesh tastes bitter." "Ha ha 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 ha, young man. I'm not a ghost. I'm also a human like you," said the ghost of the old man, stroking his long beard. "You're a liar. How could humans fly? Are all ghosts like you like to cheat? It is true that I am a human just like you, but I am also a practitioner in the Diva realm. Coincidentally, when passing through this planet, I found something interesting." "Deity, aren't you from this planet?" "Of course I'm not from your world. Space is very wide. There are lots of people living out there." "Really?" Chen did not believe that there were other humans outside the earth. "Old man, of course, what's in it if I lie to you?" "Chen, then why did you chase me just now? I need to confirm something from you." After finishing his sentence, the old man immediately grabbed Chen's right hand. Chen tried to get away from the old man, but however much he tried, he could not let go. "Good. I didn't expect to meet a treasure on this remote planet," laughed old man, then took his hand from Chen's wrist. Saw the old man laugh. Chen, rather confused old man. "Son, you have a very rare ancient body. Throughout the whole world, this body is very good for cultivation." "How are you interested?" asked the old man. "Not interested," Chen answered firmly. Hearing Chen's answer was stunned. "Why?" "Because being a practitioner must definitely sit and close my eyes for weeks or even years. Life like that is very boring. If there is nothing else, then I will go for a senior." After paying homage to Chen, immediately went towards the direction to his village. While the old man was still stunned by Chen's answer, the old man began to think that Chen's brain was damaged. There were people out there who sacrificed property and were even willing to be servants to enter the world of motivation. If these people heard what he said just now, they would definitely hit Chen's head for being stupid. The old man still hadn't given up and immediately chased towards Chen. "Son, are you sure about this?" Of course I'm sure I don't like the life of being imprisoned for years. Son, I forgot to tell you, if the owner of an ancient body, if not treated properly, can harm the owner. Hearing the old man Ye Chen's words, immediately turned. What do you mean? I mean, if you are in excess of yang qi, then you will explode into pieces. What? After listening to Ye Chen very scared, then how to prevent it? Hey, in this world nothing is free. If you want to admit me as a teacher, I will tell you. Ye Chen was so confused why this old man wanted him to be his student. What exactly do you want from me? How can I release a good seed like you? With your primordial, you can certainly climb into the realm that I cannot achieve in this life. I have lived more than 300,000 years, and my time is not much anymore. So even though I have nothing later, but there are still people who inherit some of my techniques. Listening to age Ye Chen's parents were stunned. 300,000 years, whether the cultivators could live that long. Ahem. What are you waiting for? You do not want to worship this master of yours. Ye Chen looked at the old man and slightly tapped. Students greet the teacher. Ha ha ha, good start, now you are my student. The heart of the old man was quite happy as he seems. Then how do you cure Yang Qi's advantages? What's more, of course, doing something sacred between men and women to cultivate yin and yang in the body. Is it just like that? Isn't that easy to do? Ye Chen's chest heaved up in anger. He thought that to heal needed a rare ingredient, method that was very difficult, but it turned out that only contacting it could cure him. Isn't all that Ye Chen needs to do is find a woman, and this problem will be solved easily? Boy, although it's easy to have a relationship between men and women, do you have the techniques to manage yin and yang? Ye Chen looked down. He did not have such a technique. Ha ha ha. You realize that without me, you will die because of Yang Ti's strengths. Then the teacher quickly gave me that technique to me. Don't be greedy. Let's leave this place first. After that, a power enveloped Ye Chen, and he flew with the old man to the horizon. Ye Chen knew that his lord could fly, but he did not expect it. He took him to leave the Earth's atmosphere, and a black hole appeared in front of them. At this moment, Ye Chen did not know where the old man would take him, and he too, Blum, knew the name of his master. Master, do I not know your name yet? The old man. Oh yes, I was so excited I almost forgot to introduce myself. My name is Gu Xuan. Then your name? The student's name is Ye Chen. Ye Chen looked around, and as far as the eye could see, there was only darkness, and a few thunderbolts began to grab. But the master made a blue protective shield around the two of them and protected from lightning strikes. Out of curiosity, he asked, Teacher, where are we now? We are now in the dimensional space flow. This dimensional space flow makes it easy for us to go to Atar Star, and there are two ways to activate it. First, one must reach a certain stage or use a special item. If someone who has a low level of cultivation and opens it without special items, then they will be hit by some of this lightning. Even though Ye Chen still didn't understand his master's explanation, but he just nodded as if he understood. Half an hour later, they both came out of the current dimensional space, and Ye Chen saw a green planet in front of his eyes. They both immediately headed towards the green planet. Arriving on the planet, as far as the eye can see, there are only trees, and the air in this place is very clean and fresh. This is our training ground for the future. I will put up some arrays so that the magic beasts do not come near here. After that, Gu Xuan flew and disappeared from Ye Chen's view. While waiting for his teacher to return, Ye Chen looked for shelter. Under the tree, Ye Chen sat down and waited for his master to return. Ye Chen got bored at this time. Almost 2 more hours, Mr. Go. And until now not back, Ye Chen began to fear if Gu Xuan leave on this planet alone. Ye Chen's anxiety subsided after he saw Gu Xuan descend from the sky. Ye Chen immediately approached Gu Xuan and shouted, Mastering! As he was about to approach, he was like being held back by a power that was invisible to the eye. It turned out that Gu Xuan didn't throw Ye Chen closer, because he intended to activate the formation of an array. Suddenly, Guxuan's body emitted blue light rising into the sky, and also appeared some blue light from 4 different directions that were quite far away. The 4 lights immediately went to Guxuan's light. Bam! Bam! Several explosions were heard. After the explosion, blue light forms a giant dome above the sky and descends to the ground. It is estimated that this dome is hundreds of miles away. Now, Chen, all qi energy in a radius of 200 miles from here will gather at our place now. Ye Chen was still confused because he did not yet know what energy qi was. Seeing Ye Chen was confused, Guxuan finally remembered that he had not taught the basis for cultivation. Therefore, Ye Chen did not yet know the usefulness of energy qi. Ahem! Forget it first, you must choose the cultivation technique that suits you. Guxuan waved and an ancient building appeared before Ye Chen's eyes. This building had 3 floors. Ye Chen began to get used to seeing these strange events, and he began to believe what his teacher was saying. Come on in. Guxuan then went to the front door of the building and followed behind him by Ye Chen. After the door was opened, Ye Chen saw a lot of books and scrolls. Now, son, this is a low-class technique for starting the path to become a cultivator. Choose your own. Master what there is no top-class technique that you can give, Ye Chen asked, because a little dissatisfied. Ha ha ha, you think this is too easy? Because you are just beginning to step into the world of cultivation, then you have to start from the easiest first to understand a cultivation technique. Someone takes a long time, especially the higher the level, the more difficult it is to understand listening to that. Ye Chen was quite stunned. He did not think that to learn a cultivation technique is quite difficult and requires quite a long time. Now, Chen, choose a technique that you think is good. Hear that Ye Chen immediately began to look at the book one by one, but after seeing a lot, it turns out there is still no technique that interested him. Until he saw a very thick book that was on the chain. Out of curiosity, Ye Chen asked, "Teacher of this book, why is there a chain?" Guxuan saw where Ye Chen's finger was pointing, and he saw an old scroll with a chain that was coiled. Oh, that is a technique that I got by chance. In the past, because no matter how hard I tried, I couldn't break the seal because I didn't know what technique and level. I just put it on this first floor. Eta, why the book exudes a familiar feeling. It's like a manette trying to pull Ye Chen closer. Ye Chen finally walked towards the book and tried to pick it up. When Ye Chen's finger touched it, suddenly Ye Chen felt something hot in his chest. Ye Chen looked down. He saw the necklace his grandfather had given him, shining, and the chain in the book also moved. Crack! Crack! The sound of the chain opened, and the book floated and opened the pages one by one quickly. Guxuan, who saw the scene, was shocked, but after the book stopped opening the page, a white light came out and pushed Guxuan out of the room. It is important to know that Guxuan's level of strength is almost the same as the king of the realm in the high rank, to be able to kick him. Guxuan saw the closed door and a barrier covering the building. Seeing Guxuan easily evicted from this room, Ye Chen panicked. After that, light enveloped the building around Ye Chen. A floating figure appeared in front of Ye Chen. The figure looked at Ye Chen's body from the top down. The ancient body was not bad. Son, I am the sage god, one of the 5 most powerful true gods in the past. I intentionally left the rest of my soul in this book so that one day someone can inherit my power, and today you have activated this legacy I left behind. If other people hear the name of the god of sage in the realm of their gods, they will definitely be very happy, especially knowing to activate an inheritance, but it doesn't seem to apply. Not for Ye Chen. Senior, maybe you are mistaken. I just touched that book and didn't do anything else. This person could kick his master easily, proving that this person was strong enough. If he wanted to harm or kill Ye Chen, it was easy enough. See Ye Chen, restless god. Sage finally spoke. Calm down, I will not harm you at all. I will explain so that you little men get it. To activate my legacy, besides having to have this book, you also have to have a key, and the key is in your neck. The sage god pointed to the necklace on Ye Chen's neck. Ye Chen finally realized that the necklace around his neck was glowing in red. Out of curiosity, Chen asked, "What ancestor actually is this thing?" This is a fire crystal, which is one of the 8 crystal elements of fire, water, wind, earth, lightning, light, darkness, dimension, scattered throughout this world. Prepare yourself to receive my inheritance. And at the tip of the finger of Lord Sage, a drop of blood appeared. This is a drop of blood from me that has been purified for millions of years to obtain blood that cannot be destroyed. After this blood enters your body, all your veins and meridians will be replaced with the sage god meridians, and the process will be a little painful. Then a finger from the sage god pushed forward the blood directly into Chen's chest and entered through his skin. When the blood entered, Chen felt all his venues twitched and felt his venera being eaten by something. A great rasasakit finally struck Chen's entire body. He felt like being stabbed and chopped by thousands of invisible swords, making Chen scream in pain. Guxuan, who is outside, is currently trying to destroy the barrier, but even with the strength of his strength up to 80%, the barrier still doesn't budge. Guxuan didn't know what was going on with his student inside. If he had an accident, then it was very troublesome, because it will be very difficult to find a student who has a body like Chen in this world. Argi! A cry of pain was heard from the inside Guxuan, who heard a cry of pain from the inside. He immediately tried again, and this time he used 100% of his strength. Bam! A loud explosion that could be hit by almost tens of thousands of mill dust fell to cover 200 miles away. When the dust disappeared, the barrier was still standing strong and not even scratched. Seeing this, Guxuan could only sigh and pray that his student would be fine. After 2 hours, the screaming finally stopped. Chen's body and the blood of the sage god successfully fused. Chen felt his body light, and a lot of strength flowed in his body. His mind was also very clear now. Now you have inherited my power, even though it is incomplete. If you can find the other 7 crystals, then you will get my complete inheritance. Senior then, where should I look for the other 7 crystals? Chen asked. It depends on your luck because the crystal is scattered throughout the whole world. God Sage answered with uncertainty. Because you have accepted my inheritance. The responsibility that you will carry in the future will be very heavy. My task is now finished when I leave. And also for cultivation techniques and others are all in this book. I hope you can complete a mission that I cannot complete in the past. Sage God closed his eyes and became increasingly transparent. Wait, Senior, what do you mean by mission? Explain to me. Before Chen finished his words, the rest of the soul sage gods disappeared. The book that originally floated in the air turned into a ray of light and entered Chen's forehead. Chen received various information on how to cultivate, starting from some sage deity abilities and some heavenly level techniques. So Chen learned it one by one. For some reason, after Chen had inherited the power of sage god, Chen could easily learn these things. From what Chen had in mind, a cultivator had 52 deep veins, but Chen now had 60 deep veins. The deep vein is the most important factor for any cultivator. The more one can open the vein door deeply, the faster they absorb yuan qi, and of course the faster they become stronger. These 8 additional veins represent 8 immersive elements belonging to the god sage, and of these 8 additional veins, one is open. The flame vein to open requires a special fire crystal ability, can increase the strength of its users tens of times over for a few moments. If the cultivation level of the user is weak, then it will hurt itself. This book is like a system, and only shows information about fire veins and fire techniques for other veins. Chen's level of thinking had gone up a level, so he knew that if he wanted to open up other information and techniques, then he would only have to find another sage god crystal. Of course, the technique which is unrelated to the other 8 elements is also open, like the striking Paliang technique called the true god body, where there are 10 levels. Each level will increase the power of the blow several times after finish. Learning a few techniques that are quite strong, Chen immediately stood up and wanted to get out, but it seems the barrier still hasn't disappeared. When Chen tried to think of a way to remove the barrier vanished, and immediately the figure of the figure rushed in and stood in front of Chen. Guxuan immediately entered the house, and he saw Chen was still standing in the same place as before. He saw Chen's body from top to bottom, and did not look injured even though he felt relieved instead. Guxuan felt Chen had entered the first level of the spirit, formation realm. Out of curiosity how Chen can increase the power from 0 to become spirit formation realm again in just a few hours. Chen, how can you increase your strength in such a short time? Chen explained the whole process. From the beginning to the end, hearing this, Guxuan was very happy. Great, ha ha ha, I was not wrong. Choosing you to be my student. Guxuan continued to laugh because he was happy. Come with me, I'll give you a brief explanation about cultivation. Guxuan pulled Chen's hand and flew out of the room. Now Chen, say, how much have you learned about basic cultivation? Guxuan asked. Chen explained the little knowledge he got from the legacy book of the sage gods. Listening to everything that Chen Guxuan has said is indeed a basis for becoming a cultivator. Now I will tell you the level of power of a cultivator. The first level that exists in the mortal realm, martial realm, condensation realm, spirit formation realm, spirit profound realm, earth profound realm, sky profound realm, emperor realm, ancient warrior realm, overlord realm. And you are now in the spirit profound realm stage. Overlord realm is the peak stage in the mortal realm. After that, you can reach the divine realm and the divine realm, divided also in several levels: divine nascent realm, divine spirit realm, divine tribulation realm, divine rebirth realm, divine monarch realm, divine preceptor realm, divine overlord realm. The divine overlord realm is the pinnacle of the divine realm, and after that is the level of the true gods. But the era of the gods, over millions of years ago, and now there is nothing else that attains the god level in the realm of this deity. And the sage god you inherited in your body is one of the 9 strongest gods in the past who ruled over the gods. That's why your achievements in the future will definitely not be limited. Chen had memorized everything with ease. Then what teacher are you at now? Because of curiosity, Chen asked. Right now, I am in the 6th level divine overlord realm, Guxuan said proudly. Wow, mastering really strong. Then how long will it take for me to get my strength like master? Ha ha ha, maybe a few thousand or maybe tens of thousands of years depending on the talent and resources you can have. It took too long, Chen protested loudly. Well, now I will explain about the body especially. The body, ancient yang, is a body that is quite special, even hundreds of times stronger than the owner of the body, pure yang. A man the stronger, yang, they are, the faster they can also cultivate. Will, but if the amount is too much, then it can harm its own body, so to balance it requires yin from women. Chen listened very seriously. Then how to overcome them mastered. There are a number of ways one can first absorb yin through the air. For this way you should be as close as possible to that woman. But this method is the worst because it can only absorb a little yin. And the second is direct touch. This way, as long as you come in contact with women, you can absorb their yin, and this method is better than the first. And for the last term, of course, by means of an intimate relationship, this method can benefit both parties. And fortunately, I have the technique that really suits you. Guxuan took a book from his sleeve. On the cover of the book is written the heart of the king. Well, this is a book that to process it requires body requirements. Ancient yang. Guxuan then pushed the book to Chen. Chen immediately opened it and looked at some of its contents. In the beginning, it was almost the same as what Guxuan said. How to manage yang and absorb yin. But after in the middle of the contents, Chen was a little dumbfounded. Ever kissed a woman while dating Yuting? Chen only hugged and held hands. Guxuan, who saw the twitch in the face, laughed. Ha ha ha, what do you think a good book is not? Mastering whether I should learn it? To be honest, this technique is really very perverted. If you don't want to live, then you don't need to study it. After all, the time you have is less than 5 years, so if you are not fast, then death will pick you up. Ye Chen could only take the book and save it for later study. Guxuan stood up. Chen, is time for our practice. Guxuan took out an item. He lifted it in the air, and a light came out from that thing. Soon the sky and those around Yiqi turned into white fields. Now where we are at the Wheel of Time, here time is very slow. For 1x use, the Wheel of Time can last for 1 day, and in the Wheel of Time itself is 1 month, only 1 day in the real world. Wow, cool. So if we train for 10 years here, then it's only 4 months in the real world. Ahem. Guxuan coughs. Son, this item is very rare. In fact, I only have 20 in stock, so it's only enough for the next 20 months. Chen, prepare yourself physically and mentally, because in the next 20 months, I will train you very hard. Guxuan smiles, smirking. At this time, Ye Chen saw a lake, and around the lake there were many naked girls who were bathing in the fresh lake water. Saw a figure of beauty with a slim and curvaceous body, snow-white skin, crystal-clear eyes, and a face like a goddess. When Ye Chen wanted to hug and kiss the goddess, suddenly his eyes were blurred, and when he realized he was in his bed, again the dream appears. After Ye Chen learned the technique of the king's heart, every time he slept, he always dreamed of a spring dream, where he saw many very beautiful girls, but every time he wanted to pick her up, everything was blurry, and he was in bed. It has been a 1.5 years after Ye Chen started his training. His figure now is not like before. He now has a height of 182 centimeters. His body is no longer thin like it used to be, and now it is filled with muscles. His face is very handsome. His hair is long because it is not cut. For 1.5 years. Ye Chen got up from the bed. He tipped his sign into a ponytail and left out of the ancient house. Ye Chen immediately flew towards the forest and left the Wheel of Time. He looked around to find subjects, to warm up. Finally, after walking around for a few minutes, he found a magic monster named the Wolf of Fire. The magic monster had a height of 2.5 meters and a length of 3 meters, 50 centimeters large fangs of fire. Ye Chen immediately landed in front of the Fire Fangs wolf, saw the arrival of Ye Chen. The fangs of the Fire Fist immediately roared and put on standby mode. The Wolf of Fire Fangs immediately pounced towards Ye Chen and opened his mouth to prepare to tear Ye Chen. The Wolf of Fire Fangs was getting closer, but Ye Chen did not dodge or dodge it. Ye Chen instead raised his hand. Bam! Ye Chen's hands gripped the wolf's fire fangs and raised them into the air. The 2 hot fangs were as if he could not hurt Ye Chen's palm. Ye Chen then twisted his body 360 degrees, and he turned faster, and Ye Chen throwed the Wolf of Fire Fangs into the air. The Fire Fang wolf was thrown for tens of miles and finally hit the ground and made a hole as large as hundreds of meters. Ye Chen then flew in the direction he threw the Wolf of Fire. When he got there, he saw the Fire Fang wolf get up, then run with lightning speed like seeing a ghost. Seeing the Fire Fang wolf run away, Ye Chen shook his head. Too bad, even though I just started warming up. Chen, when Ye Chen was about to look for new monsters to warm up, a familiar voice called to him, so he turned over. Chen, come with me. There are important things I want to tell you. Then Guxuan went towards the house. Ye Chen flew behind Guxuan. Sit down. Ye Chen immediately sat opposite Guxuan. Master, there are important things you want to tell you. It has been almost 20 months since I trained you, and you also have mastered all the skills that I have. Now is the time for you to go to your place of origin and solve your own ancient body problems. Ye Chen, I understand, teacher. And remember well my last words. Protect what is guarded for you, even though the whole world is hostile to you, and in this world strength is everything. If you have no power, then you will be trampled by strong people, and all things that are guarded will be stolen from you. Guxuan was right 1.5 years ago, when Ye Chen did not have the strength of the thing he was guarded and loved to steal from the strong and rich. And when he decided to climb the path to eternity, he swore in the future to protect the precious things he had. And make sure you do not expose the inheritance of a sage god, because if it is known by greedy people, It will be dangerous for you. Guxuan advised Ye Chen the words he said were very serious. Even including the person closest to me, teacher? Ye Chen asked. Yes, that includes the people closest to you, because if it leaks, all the realm gods will surely hunt you down, even including your relatives or wives in the future. Heard the consequences, Guxuan Ye Chen said was quite surprised. Students will always remember the words of the teacher just now. Now the master also has a personal request. When you are strong enough, I want you to take care of my daughter. She is called Gushun, and now she is in the Star of the Holy Sky, which is one of the star kings in our domain today. And I hear that she is new. I have just been appointed as the personal servant of the snow butterfly goddess. Of course, Ye Chen also knew his master had told the 4 most beautiful women in the West. Many strong men from various stars were willing to die to get their beauty. One of them was named Dongfang Xiu, who also had the nickname of the snow butterfly goddess. Teacher, why does he not live with you? Ye Chen asked, quite curious. It's a long story that he really hates me. That's why he doesn't even want to see me. Guxuan gripped his chest like in pain. Master. Ye Chen immediately stood up and tried to support him. Sorry, Chen. I can't tell you that. When I remember that mistake, my heart felt stabbed by hundreds of knives, so I'm sorry I can't tell you. Guxuan tried to stabilize his sitting position. Ye Chen actually asked what was wrong that made his daughter angry with him, but seeing the teacher's current condition, he did not dare to ask and just nodded. Good teacher, I promise if one day I have great strength, then I will take care of your daughter. Ye Chen patted his chest while promising. Thank you very much. Then Guxuan took the ring on the ring finger and handed it to Ye Chen. Kiddo. In this storage ring, there are a few items that help to raise your cultivation quickly. Ye Chen shook his head, shaking. Teacher doesn't need me to bother you enough already. Take this. I deliberately prepared for your departure. Guxuan continued to offer the storage ring to Ye Chen. Because Ye Chen is helpless, can only accept it. Thank you, teacher. Now you can go inside the storage ring. There is also a teleportation stone to return to your original planet. I also taught you how to use it in the past. Ye Chen. Good, teacher. When do you think we can meet again? Only time can answer that, Guxuan said while stroking his beard. Then, teacher. See you later. Ye Chen activated the teleportation stone, and a mukul black hole. Ye Chen immediately jumped inside. Seeing Ye Chen's figure go, Guxuan was relieved. Ah! A blood arrow shot out from Guxuan's mouth. It seems like my time isn't long. The reason he didn't tell Ye Chen was because he was afraid that if Ye Chen found out, he would be sad. Before leaving from the world, there was still one more thing that he wanted to realize. Guxuan flew away towards the horizon. Teleportation stones are quite expensive items in the god realm. These stones can move a person instantly to the place he wants to go, but the coordinates appear randomly near the place in the destination. In front of his eyes, Ye Chen saw the sight of many trees. Finally, after all this time, I returned to this place. Ye Chen took a deep breath and felt the air of the earth back. Even though the energy on earth is very thin, but there should still be many places that have pure energy that has not been polluted by pollution and can make a person break through to the overlord realm level. Ye Chen immediately flew at normal speed and looked around. Who knew there was a high-value herbal plant in this unspoiled forest? A familiar figure crossed Ye Chen's eyes. Ye Chen saw a wild mountain chicken, which was his favorite food when he was still in the village. It's just that because the chicken was very fast in running, it was quite difficult to catch it without using a trap. But now Ye Chen didn't need to use a trap anymore. Ye Chen disappeared from his place of origin. Ye Chen suddenly appeared behind the wild mountain rooster, reached out and immediately caught the wild mountain's chicken feet, and the wild mountain rooster, who was looking for food, had no time to escape and end easily caught. Ha ha ha! I haven't eaten good food for a long time, and finally today I will eat delicious food. Ye Chen laughed while rubbing his chicken head in his hand. Ye Chen then went looking for a river to slaughter, pulling feathers and cleaning the inside of the chicken. Ye Chen's hands speed very fast. In a few minutes, the chicken meat was finally clean and ready to be grilled. After that, Ye Chen collected a branch or dry wood. Surely he didn't take one by one. He used his mental strength, twigs and dry wood that were within tens of meters, flying to Ye Chen's front. Now all that's left is to collect the spices. Ye Chen then walked through the forest to find some spices. A few minutes later, Ye Chen held some fresh spices. Ye Chen smeared the chicken with herbs. Then the wood that he had collected was stacked, and a small flame appeared from Ye Chen's finger and burned the wood. This fire was an ordinary weak fire, Ye Chen thought, if using deep fire the wood in a few seconds immediately to ashes. Ye Chen started to fill the chicken meat. Ye Chen couldn't wait to eat the roast chicken. Ye Chen lifted the cooked roast chicken and smelled the aroma. It smells good, but it's a shame there is no barbecue sauce. If there is, definitely, this panggang chicken will be better. Please! Please! When Ye Chen was about to take a bite, he heard someone's voice asking for help, so Ye Chen put the roast chicken immediately disappeared towards the sound. When he arrived at the place, Ye Chen saw the woman who was running with some torn clothes, and behind her there were two people wearing black face masks, carrying an AK-47 type rifle. Terrorist? That is all that Ye Chen can conclude, so Ye Chen immediately rushes to save that woman. The woman continued to run, but she felt her whole body was hot, and her body was a little to soften a little. Ah! The woman stumbled and fell. She saw the two men who were chasing her near close. Feeling desperate, the woman closed her eyes and accepted her destiny. Just then, the woman heard the sound of falling objects and saw a young man in modest clothes, long hair, standing in front of her. The woman just glanced at the figure, and her vision became black, and she fainted. Seeing someone darting down from the sky into the two people that stopped and pointed the AK-47 weapon towards Ye Chen, at the sight of a young man in shabby clothes. "Young people, hurry up and move away from our affairs, or you will kill me." The two men sneered and looked down at Ye Chen. "Really? And then show what you can do." Now Ye Chen's turn underestimated. "You dare." The terrorist immediately raised his arms and ready to shoot Ye Chen. "Wait, why don't we torture him first until he begs us?" Terrorists beside him give advice to other terrorists to torture Ye Chen alone. Then the person who gave the suggestion of putting on an iron boxing glove rushed towards Ye Chen. Ye Chen laughed at this anchovy in his heart. When the terrorist was ready to hit Ye Chen's face, Ye Chen quickly grabbed his neck and slammed it hard on the ground. Bang! The sound of broken bones is heard loudly. Seeing his colleague easily dropped by Ye Chen, the terrorist immediately shot Ye Chen. Bam! 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 All bullets are shot. None of Ye Chen. Go to Ye Chen's speed so fast that the terrorist only saw his shadow. When the terrorist noticed that Ye Chen was already in front of him, and Ye Chen's hand poked his chest. When Ye Chen's punch landed, the terrorist felt his entire internal organs shift, and he bounced a few meters to hit a tree and cough up blood. Seeing the two terrorists fainted, Ye Chen immediately walked towards the woman, but his footsteps stopped. He felt a dozen someone approaching towards him. The sound of the running man's footsteps increasingly clicked. Ye Chen turned towards the voice. Immediately several people dressed similar to the two people who had just been beat up by Ye Chen appeared, and they were pointing their weapons towards Ye Chen. Seeing more than dozens of weapons leading to him, Ye Chen still did not show the expression of distress or fear. He even showed a smile. "Please lower your weapons. We can talk well, right?" With a smile, Ye Chen tried to break the ice. The terrorists only look at each other, and there is a burly person coming out of the crowd, that bald man that has a scorpion tattoo on his cheek. He then looked at the two people who fainted on the ground and said, "Are you the one who injured my two subordinates?" Less than 20 years. Seeing that bald man, Ye Chen wanted to play with him. "I didn't do it. How could I not have a weapon? Weapon can bring down two people who have firearms. You think you can fool people like me? I just heard gunfire and only you were here, so if it wasn't you, who else would hurt both of them? Kill him and feed his body to the dog. Ha 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 ha. The bald man gave orders to the subordinates behind him, hearing the bald man's words. Ye Chen's eyebrows were slightly raised because they were not happy. If you get the wrath of the gods, you know. Terrorists who listen to Ye Chen laugh. Immediately their fingers will press the trigger, but before their fingers press them, they feel the heavy hammer hit his chest, and they all fly a few meters backwards. The bald man who gave the order was confused, because there was still no gunfire after a long time. So the bald man looked back and saw that all his subordinates had been ground on the ground, and their mouths were bleeding. Seeing this strange bald man was a little scared. He saw the figure of Ye Chen Young still standing at his place of origin and not moving an inch. Look, what I say is right. They are all affected by God's wrath for trying to kill good people. Like me, maybe your turn will be affected by God's wrath. Of course, the person who injured everyone was Ye Chen. Ye Chen used the 9-shadow step and in several seconds hit the man's selves lying on the ground. This move could create shadows that could trick the enemy, and the total shadow that could be made by the moves. This reaches 9 figures. When using this style, Ye Chen changed right where he stood with a lot, and he himself went behind the bald man with a very fast speed and beat everyone, and Ye Chen did it in less than 2 seconds. Looking at this strange, "Who are you really?" the bald man began to fear Ye Chen. "I'm just a school student who was lost in the forest," Ye Chen answered as is. "Where is Mukin? There is a school student like you." The bald man was still not satisfied with Ye Chen's answer. "It's up to you want to believe or not. For me. No problem, actually I do not like violence, but because you want to try to kill me, then I will give you a lesson that you will not forget in this life." Ye Chen's smiles and smiles are like devils. Hearing that, the bald man immediately pulled a pair of scimitar weapons from his backyard. The bald man then leveled the combat position. Immediately he ran towards Ye Chen's scimitardi. His left hand was cutting horizontally towards Ye Chen. While Ye Chen was still relaxed, he stretched out his right hand and pinched the sword. Seeing what Baldhead was doing, he only smirked and thought Ye Chen was too great. Clank. The scimitar held onto Ye Chen's thumb and index finger. The bald man was surprised, and because he panicked, he tried to cut down the scimitar in the other hand to Ye Chen. Ye Chen also used his other hand to hold the bald man's wrist and squeeze him. Crack. Crack. The sound of bones cracking could be heard in the silent forest. Ye Chen then threw it like throwing cotton. The bald man fell down and curled up on the ground of misery. He saw his arms bent. He saw Ye Chen in horror. Ye Chen walked over, saw Ye Chen walked over to the bald man, saw Ye Chen approached. The bald man was afraid and tried to lift and run away from Ye Chen. "Don't come near, you Satan. I know I was wrong, so please don't come closer." No matter how bold, the man begged Ye Chen to ignore him and walk over. Ye Chen actually does not want to be cruel, but these people also often kill cruelly, so what for loving them? Ye Chen lifted his legs and stepped on the bald man's calves. Ah! The bald man felt extreme pain. "Little grandfather, I know wrong, so please let me go." The bald man's arrogance was no longer there. He could only hope to stand away from this devil. Ye Chen. "Hehe, you said you would kill me and give it to the dog. Why don't you try it now?" Ye Chen then strengthened his permission. No, I was just kidding, so please let me go." With a painful expression, the bald man who had a burly body begged Ye Chen. "Well, you know you're wrong, then will you repeat it again?" "No, I won't dare to repeat it, so please let me go this time." "Too bad. If I let you go, then surely you will kill so many people, so I decided to make you paralyzed for life." Crack. Crack, bone sounds cracked back. Ah! Just kill me. Instead of feeling this extreme pain, he would rather die. Death is too luxurious for you, so it's better to torture you. With Ye Chen's vicious smile stepping on the other bald man's feet again. "The basis of Satan! My organization will definitely never let you go." The Priya kept screaming in pain. Who? I do not mind to destroy your organization, and you must have also tortured your victims like I do now. So what, have you ever felt sorry for them? So accept your karma for your actions. Within minutes, the screams of pain were heard in the forest, and some of the bones were both stiff, and the bald man's hands were broken, even though he could still live. The bald man could only be a person with a disability for the rest of his life. Seeing the bald man had learned Ye Chen's lesson, then walked towards the collapsed woman. Ye Chen approached the woman. When Ye Chen approached, he saw a very glamorous adult woman who had a beautiful white face and body like a devil, and 2 large rabbits that were estimated to be the size of E or F cup. Even though her long hair was a bit messy and still could not cover her beauty, this was the most beautiful woman Ye Chen had met in the past 19 years. Ye Chen crouched down and took the glamorous hand of the mature woman. This woman's hands were very soft. Ye Chen immediately dispelled dirty thoughts and checked the pulse of the adult woman and felt something was wrong. The blood flow was too fast and the female body was hot today. When Ye Chen touched his wrist, the woman opened her eyelids and saw the face of a handsome man. Because she felt hot and felt like ants crawling all over her body, the first thing she wanted was to tap into Ye Chen and eat her. Seeing the adult woman suddenly hug her to fall to the ground, Ye Chen, quite stunned and dazed, the mature woman reached out her hand to Ye Chen's shirt and wanted to open the button of his shirt. Feeling that someone was trying to open the button of his shirt, Ye finally regained consciousness, and he immediately caught the hand of the mature woman and tried to stop her. Give it to me. Please give it to me. My body feels bad. For some reason today adult lust exploded, and he was very aroused at this time. Ye Chen, who heard this, knew what had happened. It seems like this young woman was poisoned by an aphrodisiac, so Ye Chen locked her hand so she would no longer move. Aphrodisiacs are quite dangerous if not handled immediately, or he can damage this woman's body. Ye Chen just remembered, yes, surely the bald man has an antidote. Ye Chen held the woman like a princess and immediately walked towards the bald man. The bald man was still lying on the ground. He saw Ye Chen approaching again and panicked. Say, where do you keep the antidote for this aphrodisiac? Ye Chen said in a voice asking. The bald man was afraid of Ye Chen, and he immediately said, This is a newly developed drug, so there is no antidote. Listen to that answer. Ye Chen was not satisfied and wanted to kick the bald man. Seeing Ye Chen not satisfied with his answer, the bald man said again, This aphrodisiac is not too high a dose, so you just need to make it reach the peak by touching his body. If you dare to trick me, then I will make you suffer even more. After saying those words, Ye Chen immediately took the adult woman away. Ye Chen immediately looked for a suitable place to heal the adult woman. After a few minutes, Ye Chen finally found a large tree. He immediately approached and descended on that tree branch. On top of this big tree, there is a flatter place that is better than on the ground. The mature woman continues to stretch like a caterpillar on Ye Chen's arm. Ye Chen then places an adult woman. She sees a very passionate adult woman in front of her. If Ye Chen was not aroused with this, then he was a liar. He was also a normal man. Seeing a beautiful woman who teased like a devil, they would definitely eat it right away. Ye Chen tore up the clothes of the adult woman and a black underwear appeared in Ye Chen's eyes. He saw the peak soaring covered by the black bra, and the private parts were also covered by black lace panties, which made Ye Chen even more excited. Ye Chen's heartbeat is getting faster and faster, even though Ye Chen was the first to do this, but he learned all the techniques in the king's heart that could satisfy women easily. Ye Chen reached out his hand to the 2 big white rabbits and he squeezed it. The sensation was very chewy and pleasant. Feeling the touch of Ye Chen's body was like provoked, he immediately shouted, Ah, again more. Touch more. Good, delicious. Ye Chen's hands-on hands are really fun, thousands of times better than touching his own body. Hearing the shout of a mature woman. Ye Chen Samakian was excited. He increased the power of the squeeze of his fingers to the fingers of his hand, only separated by the black silk bra, which was quite thin. Ah! Ah. Do more. I want more. Enjoy very good. The adult woman like rising to surge, and a very pleasant voice continues to come out of the adult woman. Because not satisfied with touching, Ye Chen finally let go of the woman's black silk bra. After the black silk bra opened, 2 pink cherries appeared. Ye Chen admired this beautiful work in front of his eyes. Greedily, Ye Chen sucked and gibbled it so that it made the mature woman enjoyment. Ah, don't bite. Sick. Sick. Lighter, That woman gets more and more pleasure so that her mind is empty and she is like being in heaven. Ye Chen didn't forget to suck the adult female's yin qi, even though the amount was small but better than nothing. The customer pleasure from that woman continues and continues to be heard in this silent forest. After 15 minutes, the moans finally stopped Ida. How many times has the woman reached the peak? She huddled next to Ye Chen and slept with a very satisfied face. Ye Chen took his storage ring blanket and covered it over the body of the adult woman's naked, half-naked. He began to remember the madness just now. Said in the Emperor's heart technique, someone who has felt the Emperor's heart technique, then he will not be satisfied anymore to deal with normal people. Ye Chen also did not know the origin or name of this woman, but if this woman wanted to be responsible, then Ye Chen would definitely be responsible, because she was not a person who would run away after doing such a thing, even though her aim was good anyway. This woman was still a beauty like a goddess. Seeing the woman sleep peacefully, Ye Chen didn't want to wake her up, so he went and saw the mercenary. When he got there, Ye Chen saw everyone had been killed. There was a wound on their neck. Everything was still there except for the bald man. Ye Chen saw that there were new footprints. It was estimated that this was the friend of the bald man in more than 20 minutes. It was estimated that they had gone very far. Ye Chen wanted to catch up, but he still had to guard the woman. He would not be afraid. This, if they still had brains, they could no longer dare to provoke Ye Chen. So Ye Chen immediately returned to the tree where the woman slept. Oh yeah, I almost forgot my roast chicken. Ye Chen almost forgot his roast chicken, so he took his roast chicken first before going to the tree. Fortunately, the chicken was not eaten by wild animals around here, so Ye Chen could still eat the roast chicken. When he reached the top of the tree, he saw that the woman was still sleeping with a peaceful face. Ye Chen wanted to eat the chicken meat immediately, so he took the chicken thigh dagging and ate it. At this time, the eyelashes of her little woman trembled slightly, and she opened her eyelids and she woke up and looked around until finally found the man who helped her was eating chicken very greedy. Who are you? There was only one sentence in the mind of the adult woman. Ye Chen was currently enjoying this roasted chicken until he heard a sweet voice from the side. Ye Chen saw the woman. It was awkward. Unfortunately, the woman did not know the blanket covering it fell so that Ye Chen could see the 2 big rabbits again, so Ye Chen turned his face. Seeing Ye Chen not answer and instead turned her face away, she was rather annoyed. Hi, I'm asking you. Ahem, before that, cover your body first, I can see it clearly, Ye Chen warned the mature woman. Hearing Ye Chen's words, finally the woman was easy. That was screaming, ah! He took the blanket and tried to close his body. Turn around, I want to wear this blanket, the woman ordered Ye Chen. Heh, I've seen everything become what you hide, oops. Ye Chen let slip in saying, pervert, quick turn. The adult woman looked very angry with Ye Chen's eyes in his eyes as if to kill Ye Chen. Seeing this woman's gaze, Ye Chen immediately turned. The book I read was really scary to provoke a woman, especially a beautiful woman. Ye Chen began to think, what if he provoked a strong goddess? Wouldn't Ye Chen be immediately killed? Ye Chen would start understanding why teacher told him to go to earth instead of going to the god realm. The rustling sound of clothes sounded, it's done, you can turn. Ye Chen then turned around. He saw the woman wrap her blanket like a towel, and her underwear she folded beside her hand. Seeing where Ye Chen's eyes were looking at the woman was a bit dissatisfied when he wanted to scold her. He saw the handsome face of Ye Chen in his heart beating very fast and made him confused. Need to know that Su Mengxing grew up in a rich man's environment, and he had seen countless handsome men, but compared to Chen, they could be said to be rubbish. Seeing that woman's face was a bit confused, Chen finally tried to call it, "Miss, you're fine." Hearing Chen calling out that woman finally woke up from her daze. "Sorry, I'm a little confused just now," the woman said with a red face. "Oh, it's okay." The situation was awkward again. Chen also didn't know what to say. Eventually, the woman decided to pass the atmosphere. "Thank you for helping me from those people. It's okay for humans to help one another. Oh yeah, what's your name?" Chen tried to ask for her name, Su Mengxin. "My name is Su Mengxin, then what is your name?" "Oh, Miss Su, my name is Chen. Nice to meet you." Chen reached out in front of the adult woman. "You don't need to be too formal, you can call me Su Mengxin again. You're also still a generous woman." "Then I'll call you Sister Su Mengxin." Chen gave a warm smile to Su Mengxin. Read Su Mengxin's face like an apple. For some reason he was very attracted to Chen, but because of his high self-esteem, he was ashamed to admit it. Seeing Su Mengxin's face blush, Chen was worried that the aphrodisiac still had the effect. "Do you feel bad? Maybe the aphrodisiac still has an effect?" Hearing this, Su Mengxin's face turned red, even though he was under aphrodisiac control, but he still remembered what Chen was doing to his body. Chen almost saw all parts of his body that were naked even though he didn't tarnish him, but he was still ashamed to see Ye's face. "Chen, please forget what you just saw." The woman was embarrassed, and the woman's tone was quite small, like a mosquito. Chen could barely hear it. Chen nodded. Okay, Chen didn't want to make the situation even more ambiguous, so he answered yes, but to forget the things he had done to Su Mengxin's body was almost impossible.